Hello there, everybody. Are you doing good? I'm doing good as well. Let me just reveal myself. Oh, that was a little bit too close. It's pretty dark in here. Let me turn off the lights. There we go. Over there. Right there. Probably don't need that. Ugh. Lighting sucks anyways in this damn place. Ugh. It's late. Didn't get much done today. I was taking a breather today. Gotta get a lot of stuff done tomorrow though. School's starting up in a day, so I gotta clear some things up. Make sure I got everything I need. Tomorrow I'm probably gonna get some stuff done in the morning, then I'm gonna clean up around here. I've been saying that for the last two videos, but yeah, stuff happens. Laziness, not get stuff done. Oh well. Yeah, some things over here. I had some thoughts on some things I wanted to talk about, but I don't really think I don't really have much to talk about. There isn't much going on. At least not over here, anyways. I'll tell you what, though, I need to call maintenance. Get them to fix up my door. Then I need to get a couple other things in this place looked at. I need to clean off these carpets. A couple other things in here. I'll tell you what, though. Work has been going weird. You know, you think when you transfer from a job that is very, how should I say this? Very beginner. It's basically one of the only jobs available right now, fast food worker. There's a bit of paperwork and stuff like that. You have to have minimal skills to work there. But I'm talking of McDonald's. You know, when you transfer out of a place like that, I mean, you don't expect much change in certain things, but you expect more of a difference in certain things, and there definitely is. I'm actually working for. Let's see if I can show that right there. Buffalo Wild Wings. Sorry, it's probably backwards on there. Oh well. You know, I transferred in there, and there's a couple. There's a lot of things different, but for the most part, I mean, it's the same thing. Buffalo Wild Wings. It's a lot busier than McDonald's. I shouldn't say that. McDonald's is pretty busy. They're both equally busy, I would say. Buffalo Wild Wings just takes more preparation, and you actually have to work harder in certain aspects in there. It's a lot more professional, I would say, than a lot of the beginner jobs you would get. Like I always heard, I've heard different things about different jobs. McDonald's almost all around. People say it's one of those jobs you have to have. One of those jobs you have to have if you want to get any experience in the working world. They didn't really like it. Some people enjoyed it. I enjoyed a lot of the people I was working with, but you know, the job and the people, two different things. The coworkers were pretty good. Some of them were not so good. People calling in all the time, people not wanting to work, having to work with kids if you're an adult and you decide to get a job. Oh, voice crack. If you decide to get a job, first job as an adult, 18, and it wasn't my first job. My first job was actually a part-time worker over at a farm attraction over near where I lived, Deloso Farms in Lathrop, California. Worked there and got McDonald's was my second official paying job. Worked there for 3 years. 3 years, and I'd say probably about 1 out of every times I went in was a good day. About 1 out of every 10 times. And I worked quite a bit there when I first started. Eventually, I got into college and everything. I had to schedule it out. So eventually, I only ended up working 3 to 4 days a week. Mostly 3, because I had to take the whole week for studying and the courses and everything. But, you know, worked there, and it was just all around. I didn't really like it that much. The best part about it, for me anyways, was working in the kitchen. Mostly because at the front, it's really chaotic. It's a lot of times it's people out for themselves. I won't get into anything like real specific. I'll save that for later. But yeah, a lot of the stuff up front was chaos. Everyone for themselves. A lot of times people wouldn't fill up on stuff if they didn't need to. They'd see stock getting low, and they would wait for the last possible second to get stuff filled up. And you know, back in the kitchen, it's very regimented in certain ways. There's a lot more cooperation with dropping food, making the food, what product they need, making sure everything's stocked up so stuff doesn't run out in the middle of service. You know, stuff like that. Whereas if you worked at the front, usually it was the people who didn't want to work in the kitchen. And for the people who wanted to work in the kitchen, that was nice, but getting stuff done a lot of times it was the miners working up front. So sometimes a lot of stuff didn't get done. You know, just walking around, either looking on their phone, talking to other coworkers who are also miners, just being all around not helpful, and taking the jobs that would get them away from having to do the real hard stuff the front of house has to do, all the cashier stuff. They didn't want to interact with the people. They didn't want to clean up the floor. They didn't want to clean up, period. They just wanted to stand around and talk. But for the most part, it was nice. Getting yelled at and having people go through the drive-through, you know, I just dislike drive-through in general. So when I got a chance to work at Buffalo, it was nice because I don't have to deal with a drive-through. I don't have to deal with people except for coworkers, because I work in the kitchen. So in Buffalo, you have the heart of house, which is the kitchen, and then the front of house, which is the servers, the bartenders, the managers. There are certain managers for front of house and certain managers for heart of house, but all managers usually stay out of the kitchen for the most part unless they're needed back there. And there's a lot different between the two jobs, but I feel it evens out in the end. But McDonald's, I would say, had there's much less disconnect between the two, kitchen and the front, because the kitchen isn't all the way in the back. They can clearly see how many customers they have, and if they need something, that both the front and the kitchen can communicate with each other. But that also led to certain things. And after 3 years of working there, I finally got to leave because I moved to a different city, and I put in my 2 weeks, and I'll give details about that in another video. But yeah, for the most part, it was a good first job. Even with all the stuff I experienced and all the bad stuff, there was good stuff too. There were good days, there were really good days, there were very bad days, in between days. Stuff happens. But I think if you're looking for a job, it's not the best job. It doesn't pay the best. The wage went up where I am. I'm not sure what the position on that is right now. I've heard people say that the wage is going to go back down because people don't see justification in that high of a wage. And then I hear people say it's going to go up again. I believe it's supposed to go up again by 2020, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I read that wrong, but I think it's supposed to go up again. But it's a good job for starters. Even if you only work there a year, you don't have to work there even near as long as I did. There are people who worked there like half a year and then left and then got another job somewhere else. I had a restricted schedule for school reasons, but that's why I wasn't able to, and the fact that I was lazy and I already had the job, and it was really near to my house, like a minute, 2 minutes away. So it was actually one of the best choices at the time. So I'll talk about some more of the specific stuff, but take it from me that if you're looking for a job, McDonald's is a good start. And if you don't leave it anytime soon, there are plenty of employment possibilities with there. There are managers I worked with there that they became managers with the training, and then with that manager status, it's like, well, you were a manager at a shop, so yes, you have to deal with bull crap, but being management also gives you other opportunities in different places. So different places look at like, oh, you were in management, so you know business and you know how to handle certain books. Even if at McDonald's the books aren't, well, I never did them, but from what I saw, they're decent books. You have to keep track of stuff, but they're not the most difficult things in the world, but they are time consuming. So it gives you a heads up. So it's a good first job. All right, I'll stop talking. Thank you.